So back in February or early March, we received many leaks regarding Modern Warfare 4. One of the leaks here stated a New York City type of mission. And rather than it being an invasion like the original Modern Warfare 3, it seems like it would be a terrorist attack by Vladimir Makarov and the Kani group. This would be a false flag attack, as they would be posing as Russia. And it appears that this mission could potentially be a flashback taking place shortly after Modern Warfare 3. Now, I remember reading that for the very first time when the leaks came out, and we had a very small, brief discussion about it as we were covering all of the leaks in its entirety. But today I wanted to concentrate on what a New York City type of terrorist mission could look like, or what kind of ideas you guys may have. If they're saying that it's not going to be an invasion, and that invasion also kind of reminds me of Modern Warfare 2 and the invasion of Washington. I mean, there were forces everywhere attacking you constantly as you were trying to clear neighborhoods, as you were trying to help people, as you were basically attacked and ambushed by the Russians. And it was so brutal and so chaotic and such a long fight, if you guys remember. And so if it's not going to be an invasion like that, then what does it necessarily mean? Is it going to be a very linear and closed mission, almost like Passengers was in Modern Warfare 3? Now, if we look back at Passengers, we find ourselves in an airplane. The mission is no longer than 8 minutes long. It's probably 6 minutes if you really kind of speed through it. And it's mostly a cutscene where you find yourself on a plane and then you realize that you are in a terrorist attack and you are being framed for something that's about to happen. They put a bomb vest on you and they push you out. And then this big explosion happens and then the world around you reacts to what occurred. Is the mission in Modern Warfare 4 going to be similar to that? And would it be beneficial or not? If you look at the pros, it would make the mission more realistic, straight to the point, very linear, and it could provide a big impact of emotions. Because if they make it very linear and they make you, for example, walk into a building in New York City, or maybe you walk to Times Square in New York City and there's like a bunch of people around you because there's this big event going on, and then out of nowhere you have this bomb vest and you kind of press a button to let it loose and then it blows up and it kills everybody there and it's like a fucking mess, right? Like that would be absolutely brutal, and it would really cast Makarov and the Kani group in a really terrible light, and very dangerous, and it would be like a gut punch. And so if you take that approach, yes, it could be a good mission. But the negatives of going in that direction would mean that the mission would also feel very short. There wouldn't be much for you to do. It would be almost like an interactive cutscene. And so another option that you could have would be treating it like the Verdansk Stadium mission back in Modern Warfare 3 as well, where there is a flashback. You play as Task Force 141, you know that something might be going on, so you're trying to infiltrate, and then Kani group is in the middle of killing people and explosions everywhere. And so maybe that happens in the mission, so it becomes more playable. It becomes you actually looking for something, trying to stop a bomb. Maybe you're playing as the Delta Force, you're playing as Marines, whatever, and you're trying to stop this bomb because you got intel that there potentially is a terrorist attack that Vladimir Makarov is planning to do. And so you're the Marines and you're going through New York and you're trying to stop it. And maybe you're too late and then this big explosion happens and now you have to try to, rescue civilians and try to help others and maybe try to stop the people that did create this explosion so you can expose them. That would be another way to tackle the mission. That way, the mission would be, once again, more interactive, longer. It could be like a 20-minute mission, 15-minute mission, I don't know, with little side quests and things like that. What I wouldn't want it to be is an open combat mission, because I feel like this type of mission, this type of flashback, this type of New York City terrorist attack could be done in multiple ways. But the best way that you could do it is if you're a team and you guys are working together and it feels linear, it feels like it has a point, like old Call of Duty missions. If you were to turn this mission into a potential open combat mission where there's 3 bombs that are about to blow and you have 20 minutes to reach each one, and then they're all set up in like 3 distinct areas, and those 3 distinct areas have many enemies that you have to fight through, but you're alone, that shit would be lame. Honestly, that shit would be really lame. Like, get out of here. I don't want to see that. Don't even imagine that, because the stakes wouldn't feel as high. It would feel like you could kind of rush through it. It would just suck. And I won't lie to you, when some of these open combat missions did occur with me, especially the Ghost one at the dam for Modern Warfare 3, I realized that it was just a checkbox. There was nothing really to do, and so I just tried to run through it and try to just get to the next objective as fast as possible. And that's what you would get if that mission in New York City is taking the approach approach of an open combat mission. And so those are just some of the ideas and some of the ways that you can tackle this mission. You could potentially have this mission be really good, or you could potentially have this mission bomb and be forgettable. I know that some people are split on Passenger from Modern Warfare 3. Some people enjoyed how brutal it was and how quickly it happened, and others wanted a little bit more, maybe something like No Russian from the original Modern Warfare 2. I don't know necessarily what I want from the New York City terrorist attack, if it even happens in the mission, because again, we got to remember these are leaks, so we could just be talking about nonsense and it never really comes to be. But we are assuming that they're true, and we are assuming that they will happen. So what do you guys think could potentially happen in this type of mission? What would you like to see? How would you like to see it be done? Would you want to flip it on his head and you play as the Connie group infiltrating, I don't know, a really famous building? I mean, maybe you could say the Empire State Building, and they infiltrate that building and they kill the workers that are in there, they plant bombs, they escape, and then they blow the freaking building up, and it turns into this massive thing where the police are chasing you and you're, maybe in a getaway car, you're trying to kill them. And again, Vladimir Makarov succeeds and the Connie group succeeds in blaming it on Russia, and after that kind of inciting a world war, because that's kind of what I think we're pushing towards potentially. And so again, there's many ways that you could do this New York City flashback attack mission. How brutal do you want it to be? What kind of way do you want to tackle it? And how interactive do you want this mission to be? Do you want to see the brutal effects of what could happen? I don't know. I mean, it has the potential to get extremely dark. It has the potential to probably be the worst or the most brutal mission that Call of Duty has ever done.